Tricky mate. Hello? What the hell is that? Oh my god. Now just made it. Oh my goodness. This is really unbelievable.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to my show, the Take It to the Max show with Grandmaster Max Dlugy. I'll be playing in the 5-minute pool today, as I do every week, and hoping to explain to you some of the intricacies of the chess game, especially Blitz. As you can see, it's not that easy to play Blitz, but you can improve by simply playing more, I think, and that's what I've been doing the last 44 years since I learned to play chess by learning to play Blitz, actually, when I was 7 years old. Okay, and of course, I'm waiting to get paired in the 5-minute pool. I have to say that the interesting things going on in the chess world, I guess, are the Women's World Championship in Iran, although quite a controversial championship because of the kind of religious moments there, but still a lot of players playing from most countries, including the United States. Some have already been eliminated. Round one is over. And some are continuing to play. Of course, and will be continuing to play. And we'll see who's going to win as that saga unfolds. And so let's see. We have International Master Kabas, who is a tough competitor. I always have a tough time beating him. Very well, and of course, one of the reasons is he plays the London. That's always tough to beat, right? The London. But he plays it a little bit differently than me, and therefore, therein lies my chance. Okay. My knight goes to e4 to confront the knight on b1. And okay, now we have some pawn structure issues, which hopefully will help me out. Now, I'm not going to let white play a5, because if white does play a5, then I cannot play b6, pretty much. So I played a5 to block white's idea of playing a5 himself, and now I'm going to try to maneuver my bishop. Okay, no actual threat from black. I think I'm going to stop this pawn from moving, the c pawn. Okay, black wants to do it. Okay, then I'm going to defend my queen. So it's not so simple. Okay, now that white has moved the bishop away, now I can come back to b7, probably forcing that bishop back to e2, I imagine. Well, this looks very interesting. I'm going to accept that idea. Now, e4 looks interesting, but obviously bad. White will just take and play bishop g2. How should I play this position? Okay, white is still thinking about okay. Knight f8 e6. I don't want black to be able to play c5. So let me move my rook away. See how I can improve my position before doing anything serious. c5 can't be played yet. Okay. Trying to get to b5, I guess. And now knight f8 and e6. That's what I wanted to do in general. Okay, knight e6, pawn takes pawn. And this position's got to be good for black if white takes on e5 twice. And I play knight c5 and go into that ending. I don't think that can be saved. Meanwhile, my knight is approaching some interesting places, like g5 square, for example. Queen h4, queen h5, knight g5. I think that's my basic idea here. Here I go. Should I be afraid of d5? followed by the queen c7, knight g5, queen c7. No, this is too dangerous for white. And I can play rook e7 if need be. Okay, here's white one pawn I attacked. And on d5 I can play knight g5. Okay, now I can defend the e7 pawn, so d5 is not a big deal. Okay, now I'm not really afraid of de as much as just double my rooks so they're both defending each other. f5 is another idea. Takes 6. Okay, that probably stopped f5. Okay, let's get that pawn to h4. That will be better target on h4, I think. It doesn't want to go to h4. Okay. Let's play for rook f6. Okay, now I can take. It's an interesting idea. Okay. Unfortunately, I have to do that. And white is a very good defender, as you can see. Okay, now f5, I guess, makes sense to stop f5. Although I can play. Yeah, I think I'm going to play f5 just to stop f5 in general. Okay. Okay, let's try the trade. Amazing. White is such a great defender. I said I always have troubles with Kavas. Kavas is always very serious defender. Okay, I'm going to take with a knight, I guess. Should I take with a rook instead? Give him that h-pawn, huh? But why, right? Why give him the h-pawn? I'm going to come back to h4 with my pawn one day. And that will be something quite nice. Play knight back to e4. Let's just play the king to f8. Maybe just h4 is better. Okay, now knight can go to g7 and e6 perhaps. I'm not sure how strong that is, but let's try it. I definitely want my pawn on h4. I don't know if white can stop it by playing h4 himself. I'll play knight f6, knight g4 then. Okay, here goes my pawn. Here goes my knight. Alright, let's try the exchange. See if I can win that position. Here we go, f4 is hanging. And this stops bishop d7. Okay, now the question is, can I win this? What should be my plan? Well, definitely don't exchange the knight yet, right? See if I can squeeze it in somewhere. Okay, well that's that was an idiotic move. I think c6 just won. I think c6 just won there. I'm going to try to get c6 in. Okay. c6. Well, now c6 is not so interesting. How do I win this position? Interesting. What an interesting position. What if I go knight g4 takes? That doesn't win. Okay, maybe I should go for d5. Let's try to go for d5. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's play c6. Wow, that's a pawn sack. Should I accept it? Yes, I'll accept it. Okay, and now go for this one. Okay. Well, let's push it. No. You don't want to stop me from queening. Come on. Let's get serious, my friend. Yeah, this is the way we do it. Yeah. Queen, my queen, not your queen. That's right. That's the way we do it. Yes. That's the way we do it, my friend. Check, my friend. Check some more. Check some more. And of course it's time to resign, but okay, white is trying hard. Yeah. Well, that was a tough endgame. Now, I'm not sure it was winning. Now, the opening is very instructive actually, because you will see that that's actually one of the main lines of this London that some people play, and it's considered about equal. I think that was very important that I played a5 to block the save, and then we had this very interesting long-term kind of spiel back and forth. Okay, and here, okay, I think I'm just better for a long term, but somehow white was able to sustain my initiative, and here I'm not even sure that I went the right way. Maybe white could have actually played rook b5, put some more pressure here. Okay, anyway, very interesting endgame. I invite you to analyze it. I think you'll learn something about it as well as I will if I analyze it, which I may just do later on. For now, we're playing the London with white. All right, this is going to try to... Okay, let's stop black from playing b4 and just play... Okay, I've played this before. Let's attack. And bishop h6. Okay, black is going to c4. I'll take that, and I don't mind. I don't have to castle to any particular side. But black can't really castle anyway either, so it's a fight. It's an interesting fight. I like white a bit, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, let's kick that knight back to g7. All right, let's defend where we can. The question is what to do on rook b8. Should I castle or just play rook b1? Probably rook b1. Although I could play knight a4. That will leave the castling possibility open. That's probably a smart thing to do. Some dark squares. Okay, obviously stopping queen h4. That's one of the ideas that black may have here. And really trying to get in h5 and something like that. Okay, well, that's a serious commitment from black. Okay, I think I'll take and cancel. I can castle queenside now. I don't think taking will be really survivable for black now. And then I have chances to attack. Serious attack is possible. Although black can try some cool stuff like queen f3, queen takes a3. But I think I'm going to be able to stop it. Let's see. If black decided not to do it, huh? Okay, now h5 looks plausible, as does f4. Well, I think h5 looks good. Let's really continue the attack here. All right. Takes. Opening up some lines. Now I'm thinking f4 and f5. But knight f4 looks good as well. Knight f4, there's queen h6, which is very troublesome. So I'm going to play f4. To simply play f5. That's all I want to do. I just want to open up every line in the position against black's king. I think I can do it faster than my opponent, and that will put me on top. But definitely a complicated position we have here, right? No easy pickings from the rainmaker. Really? Disregarding my threats completely, that is something I want to see. I do not believe that's going to be playable. And like moving the bishop away, I was calculating the lines where the bishop is a crucial part of the defense. All right, now the rook f1, threatening f6 looks good. Take on e6, queen takes e6, for example. Takes on g5. That I don't like. I think the more the merrier. They're just going to bring some more stuff in. That looks like a good idea. Just bring more stuff in. Can't be a bad move to bring in more rooks, for example, to attack black's king. Cannot be a bad idea at all, right? All right. Pawn takes or rook takes doesn't make sense, so pawn takes. Now rook g1. Aha, that's a nice one. Queen g5 first. Then take and knight g3. Queen g5, queen g6. Rook g1. First looks stronger though. Okay, now let's see. This is bishop g7 picks up a queen. Rook takes knight, queen takes knight. Bishop g7. Yeah, this wins. This wins a lot. And queen h6 and rook g7. That wins a whole bundle. A whole bundle of goodies. Yeah. All right. Start the next game, and while that's going on, let's see what was happening here. This was getting very interesting at some point. So my opponent allowed me to attack first, but then he got his compensation with that nice little wedge on the queen side, and here I was off to the races trying to get something in myself. Okay, now I played knight a4, controversial move because I could have just played rook b1 and played for some other kind of position, but I wanted to keep my options open. e6, and now I just started attacking with h4. Now I could have again castled kingside with some positional play, but now black opens up and I castle. Now my idea was that if queen takes f3, I thought I'll just go rook f1, queen g4, like rook g1, queen h4, bishop g5. I thought this queen is going to get taken out somehow. And knight f4, I mean, I don't know. The queen looks lost. So he didn't take the pawn. He didn't buy. He bought into that. And then I just continued my attack, and continued my attack with f4. And this is a very, very strange move. I mean, why would you move the bishop away from where the attack is going? I mean, maybe the position is bad. I thought queen f6 was what black should play, but actually maybe I can then just play bishop g5 and like rook h6 just to prepare the second rook to come here. I think black's in big trouble actually, in any case. But okay, he played bishop a6, and I just started opening everything up. And then I just played rook f1, and I think that's a pretty good move, threatening f6. Takes, knight f5, and just check, and just take, and it was over, pretty much, right? All right, 2666 is my rating. Let's see what can be done about Contourist. A little King's Indian to get stuff, get the juices flowing. Get the juices flowing. Okay, here we go. My opponent's a real perfectionist here with that h3 move that's supposed to be really, really cool. And knight h2. Now, what do we do in knight h2? I don't remember, but I'll just play queen e8 just in case. It may be knight a6. I keep forgetting. Knight f4, f5. The idea here is g3 and then knight h3 and trying to get that bishop. This is not a good move for some reason. Now, the reason has to be calculated and found out, but who knows? Who knows? All right, well, I guess it's because the knight just stays there now. So my knight's coming out. Now white's supposed to play g3, but black has equality in that weird line after knight takes h3 and bishop g2. Okay, here probably time to move my queen, otherwise something unfortunate could happen to it, right? After pawn takes pawn. So let's get a move on with that queen. All right, now probably pawn takes. Probably pawn takes. Although I'm going to go pawn takes. I think it's strategically the better move, but probably tactically it's worse. I think maybe bishop takes was a better move. Now I don't like, for example, bishop takes knight and like queen d2 and knight e2, some sort of a possibility to just stupidly attack my f1, you know. But probably I can use that pin on that in that case with bishop h6, not bishop e5, but bishop h6 to hold off white's idea. So maybe even from the other way, if I defend with bishop e5, let's say bishop takes knight, pawn takes, queen d2, bishop e5, knight e2, and I play some like queen g7, and on knight f4 I can also take on b2, but also queen g5 and pin black that way, white that way, and I think I'm okay. So I'm doing bishop e5 instead of bishop h6. Now knight e2, queen g7, and that is going to c5 obviously. So I mean to d4. So I'm not allowing that. I'm actually stopping it. There's my stopping. Queen g7, hitting the b2 pawn as well. Now I can play knight e4 on b4. The rook on b1 is helping me do that. You see it? A little trick of the trade. Now knight e4 is possible. Of course, I'm sure it was possible anyway because bishop h3 is another tactic that I have if white ever takes on e4. Otherwise, the knight will actually move over to g5, and that will get me something. Also, e6 is in the cards. So I think I have a very nice position. I mean, just compare the bishop on e5 and the knight on h2. And white, it's not so easy for white to move that, to just remove that bishop from f3. So then knight e4 gets quite nasty for white. So not so easy for white, this position. Plus the time factor's reeling in. A little minute goes a long way sometimes in a blitz game, right? And finally he did decide to do it, but let's see what he goes with his knight from a6, from b5. I guess he's going to have to go to a3, which is really ugly. That is one ugly move, I have to say. Right. So now, knight wants to go to f3, that's for sure. If my rook gets to g6 at this point, what will happen? Queen f1. Yes, I guess. What if I go just king h8, like a normal human being? Let's say king h8 and rook g8. Now I just wait. Let me wait on b2. That's a good waiting square, I think. And let me maybe wait on c3. Should I wait? Yeah, let me wait on c3. Okay, I want to go somehow finish this off, but it's not clear how. I go bishop f6, white will play some move. So probably bishop d7, bishop a4 is the logical way to finish it up. So I'll just play b6 for now. Oh. All right, let me go back to threat knight c3. See if white even catches that idea. Yeah, I don't think so. That was not so easy to catch, I guess. Okay, well, that didn't work out for white, and the reason is, let's see what the reason is. I think the main reason is the castling, really. And this position is very well known. It's about even. Queen e8, interesting. Knight f4, bishop f3, f5, castles. Knight a6, I think this is all okay. Now I just moved my queen off. I think this is fine. I think I'm already a little bit better. Now I think bishop f5 is better, but I just was so interested in ef that I said, okay, let's do it. And here goes white doing what he should be. But perhaps he should have thrown in some preparation like bishop h5, for example. And I don't know. Now maybe knight f3. I don't know. Very complicated position. I think it's completely playable for black, but white, I think this was just a waste. Probably bishop d1 to go here, and this knight could go to f3. Maybe this is the way that this position should be played, and that will put some pressure on me because I don't really want to part with that bishop. So the bishop would have to keep moving, or if there's ever a trade on e5, white will get his day in court, really. So knight b5 I think was a mistake, and now I just ostracized that knight. That knight is really going to find it difficult to come back. Now the knight's coming to e4, and this is too late. Boom, I'm coming in, and now the knight's misplaced, and now I'm threatening rook g8, and here I go, and then the queen is bad, and then yeah, just take a pawn, improve the position a little bit. Yeah, white's really lost here. Yeah, well, so what can we say about that? We can say that white misplayed the opening, but really the key moment came a little earlier. And what would have happened if I had, oh, anyway, back to Rainmaker, who wants to repeat, I guess. his game from before. Let's see how he does it this time. Let's see, who is Rainmaker? Do we know? Olaf Sepp. Interesting. I guess that's sounds like Estonia or Latvia. I guess some country like that. Okay, he continues with the same idea. He liked his play from the previous round, so to speak. I liked it too, I have to say. But I liked it for myself. There we go. I liked it. The big change. Well, I can play b3 then. And then that knight does not make sense on b6 at all, right? That knight has wasted itself, plus the second knight that's clinging to try to get behind it. It's like a railway car is getting stuck because there's a red light on c4. Well, here comes my attack. Boom, h4. That's really feisty, my god. I'm grabbing that baby. Should I take on b5? Is that gonna just kill him? I don't know. Looks strong, but I don't want to do it yet. Should I play bishop g5 or just h5? h5, right? And on bishop g7, I just play h6. Oh my god, that's nice. I'm going for the h5 move. Bishop g7, h6. Just keep them at bay, those pieces. I like that idea. Just little ideas. You don't need much. You don't have time to calculate everything in Blitz, especially as you're explaining it. So just ideas, just little hits that make sense, and you say, "Oh, that makes sense." Bishop g7, h6, forcing bishop f8 because queen d4 doesn't work. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let me do that, and then you can improve on that later in the tournament game when you have plenty of time to consider all the options. Somehow I'm still already a minute ahead. Oh boy, I missed an idea. a4 threatening a5. That would be very strong, right? That would probably force black to just take on a4. Wow. That is hitting me where I least expected. Okay. Certainly take and play knight e2. Black playing c5. c5. A bit unnerving, actually. It's a good move, maybe. I don't know. Let's take it though. Okay, knight e2. I'm gonna play knight bishop g5 on c5, and then kick that queen away from that diagonal first, and then figure out how to deal with that pin. Good castle, I suppose, queenside. It's a nice move, b4. Okay. Yeah, let's kick that queen away. hg. Okay. going to play rook f4. I'm going to play rook f4. He's letting me, because it's no big deal if he castles. Don't think of that. Okay, that's not good. It's not worked out. Still, let's play rook f4. Okay, let's get out. Let's get all the pieces out from that pin. Because I'm getting short on time. I don't want to get short. I'll just play this endgame, which I think should be okay. Okay, no more pin. Just the endgame, that's all. Okay, I didn't get an advantage that I wanted. Still have a good position, I think. The pawn on h6 versus the pawns on h7 and g6 should be an advantage of sorts. And the extra 20 seconds I have is not gonna hurt. And the pawn is weak. And let's trade some pieces. Oh boy. That's an extra pawn. That's a pawn. Okay. King f2. Then knight d4. Get rid of that guy. Off we go. Okay. Check. Check. And knight e2. Take the pawn. Okay. Let's get the knight to e4. Let's try to play for a win. Can I do it? It's a little scary, but I think it's worth it. No time for black, and I have a serious h pawn, I think. Much more serious than anything white has. So what if I go here? Knight f3, that does nothing. Come on, that's a queen I'm trying to make. Wow, that was much tougher, obviously. And I don't know when it got really tough, but it looked so good in the opening, I have to say. This looked just looked right, and then I mean, maybe I shouldn't even bother with this knight. But okay, we got to this position, and now I thought this was really scary for black, but maybe it's not so bad. And b4 is a strong move. But okay, took knight e2, a5, bishop g5. Okay, why did I play h6? Maybe h6 was the problem. What if I just continued attacking this one and that one? See, castles, takes. Anyway, can't figure it out that quickly, but let's continue. hoping to keep our perfect score alive. Let's see. Okay, c3 Sicilian. Why not, after all? Nothing wrong with the c3 Sicilian, right? Okay, everyone's playing well. A reasonably well-known position. The key is not to get tricked by queen d3 followed by d5 and rook e7, but here it doesn't seem to work, so I'm okay for now. And I am threatening to take on d4, actually, my friends. So white has to figure out exactly what he has in mind. How to protect the d pawn, by what trickery to actually do it without being blocked up and exchanged and eventually losing his IQP, isolated queen pawn. And there he is. Couldn't really find it and is deciding to. Okay, okay, now g6 simply. Yeah, this is not a good position for white. I have to say, white lost his grip in it. Somehow he played one move too fast or something, and he just couldn't figure out what am I supposed to do here, right? And I think the d pawn is gone, and with it, the game is pretty much in trouble. We could play rook e4, I suppose, after knight takes bishop, but really the position looks kind of iffy at best. I mean, I can just double the d on the d file with rook d6, rook d8. I'm not really sure how white. Okay, this one. Okay, here I can just take on d4, right, and play e5, and that just wins the pawn, right? That just wins the pawn. Okay, well, that's just not bad. That just isn't too bad. I'm gonna take that pawn. That's and hope to make it stick. Take it and make it stick, because besides the pawn, I actually have a very strong bishop on b7. That's not a good sign for white. So allowing me to take with the rook is a big no-no, I think. That actually gives me more chances to win than usual. Okay, now queen c6. Just get my stuff in, I think. Okay, big question. Rook takes or pawn takes? Pawn takes, queen d3, queen g5, f3, that is, queen e3 check, takes, rook e1, rook d2, rook takes c3, rook takes b2, bishop c4. Guess it's just dead winning, so I'm going to take with the rook and keep all of my advantages. I don't want a single weak pawn to run between us here. Okay, now what? Rook g4. Rook g4, g3. Oh, wait a second. I have rook e4 then. Oh my god, that was very strong. Rook g4, f3, bishop f3. Oh, that's just crushing. On g3, I have rook e4, which wins, because then I trade rooks and go queen f3. And that just looks devastating. On f3, I can just take on f3 with whichever piece I want. And on queen e5, we know what's going to happen, right? Yeah, now rook e4. Should I play queen f3? Or take? God, where's the mate? It's not mate. Queen f3, rook e4. Queen e4, king f1. No win. No easy win. No, just grab a pawn. Grab a second pawn. That should be enough. My queen will get land on f5, and that should be enough to win the game. Sometimes there's just no mate. What do you do? What can you do in that case? You can't do anything. You just take the pawns and live with them. Check. And queen f5. That's my next idea. Actually, here maybe another check is worth it. And queen c6. No, I don't want to play queen c6. Queen f3 maybe. Oh, really? All right. Sure. Well, this is going to be a long way. A long way to get counterplay here. Very long way. My pawn is queening once it reaches h3. Okay, change that. What? All right, time to resign, my friend. Okay, see if I can get another game in. Yeah, what happened here was very weird. Somehow white immediately got into big trouble. And playing good moves too. Like all these moves are so normal. But I don't like bishop b1. Maybe bishop c2 was actually better. And somehow here, I mean, this is not a bad position for white, but white took, which is okay. But then queen d3, I think, is a big mistake, because here he should play knight e4, then take, and then actually pin me. And this is how black is not better. And then queen a4, hitting this pawn. And yeah, I mean, I have many ways to deal with this. I could play rook d6. I could even play something like this. Okay, this is just pretty equal, right? But white basically missed it and played first queen d3, and that is big. I think that's just already like a losing move, maybe, because after that, what to do? He has to play knight e4, but then boom, d4 pawn in big trouble. And okay, and I just took it. I didn't even have to, actually. I could have just doubled and taken it that way, but and here, by the way, whenever you get in a position like this, I know it's not very nice, but try to force e takes d4. That's really your best chance. Rook takes d4 keeps everything too compact, and here I think white's in big trouble here. And of course, rook g4 is just killing here. Now, where was the kill? Where was the kill I missed? I mean, maybe I didn't miss a kill. Maybe this is the. I mean, how difficult is this position to win, really, if you think about it, right? I mean, the end game is completely winning, so it shouldn't be so difficult. And in fact, that's exactly what happened. Okay, we have a perfect score for now, but still one game to go. If I get a good opponent. Otherwise, let's see if we can maybe look at my games and actually analyze them if I don't get a pairing quickly. Let's see, how do we do that fastest? I guess if we go history, and so we're going to have examine, let's say, which game did we not have a chance to really look at? Maybe 7. Examine 7. Yeah, if we take a look at this one, so yeah, this is where, no, we actually did that one. So wait, okay, well, there we go. We have an opponent. That solves everything. Okay, there we go, my London friend. I call this guy, by the way, the bishop on f4, Mr. London. Mr. London. Mr. London is excellent at providing entertainment on a worldwide basis. I mean, look at some of the players playing the London system. Magnus Carlsen, Anish Giri, Aronian, Grishuk, Karyakin, Kramnik, Kamsky, Arkady Naidich. Who did I miss? Alright, I'm going to castle now. My new idea is to castle. Provided by one of my students. He said, castle? Why don't you just castle? I'm like, okay, sure. Looks good to me. Castling is supported by companies such as Komodo, Stockfish, and others. Castling's good. Okay, my opponent's really in a mind-bending process here. What's happened to him? Come on. Is it such a difficult position? It is a difficult position, actually, honestly. But a minute and a half? That's going to be important later on, I have to tell you. Well, here comes. Here comes my attack. He was actually thinking. Okay, so Pichardies, and I am from Argentina. Okay. Well, the bishops have to go off. I'm sorry, some things just have to go off. The bishops, in this case. All right, let's grab that guy. And should I play bishop d3 or f3? Maybe bishop d3 at this point. So my knight can nicely come to e2 with the bishop already developed to d3. That's a nice little bonus, right? Because when your pieces are developed, you can hit the center with moves like e5 and start really putting some pressure on black. Okay, I don't know what my opponent is contemplating. All right. I have my move lined up. I guess bishop e6. Yeah. Now what do I do, right? b4 is coming. If I don't play e3, it could be dangerous. But a3 is okay, I think, because I can play knight e2 on b4. And on knight a6, I can take on a6. No, I can't take on a6. But I can play a move like knight f4. also play knight a2. Knight a2, knight e2. Just simple intuition tells me it should be knight e2. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but let's see. Okay, so I can take on a6. Oh, I can play knight f4. Let's play knight f4. Put some pressure on black. If he likes to think so much, let him think a little bit about that idea. It's down to a minute. I'm going to be using the time that my opponent is thinking to try to make use of it. Absolutely. He likes to think, let him think. I'm not sure he's doing a bad job here. Now I can take on a6 and play e5. I'll play e5, take on e5. I'm going to play e5 basically. Because there's also knight h5 check, right? It's not so simple. If black just plays the knight, I can play knight h takes h5. He can't take. It's going to be mate on h7. But he can go king h8. He can go king h7, that is. And I need some mating ideas. So if I take on d5, take on a6, okay, I'm just going to play some simple chess here. And take on b4. That's all. 14 seconds. I'm sorry, my friend, but you're not making it. This is a serious situation. A lag or whatever it was. This is not going to help. 4 seconds, whatever. I can play anything and I'm going to win. But I'll think. Yep. And you know what? Any move. Queen a7. Is that the move I'm going to win with? Or maybe b5. There it is. Okay. So, of course, that wasn't a perfect game. Of course, it was very, very bad. But, you know, you have to make use. You're playing a blitz game. And if your opponent is going to think of all of these moves and it's going to take so long, then, you might as well use it. Now, what did I do wrong? Maybe I should play d5 immediately. This I didn't like. This combination I did, king b1, bishop e6 was not in my favor. I should have played d5. I think that would have been a nice move here. And on knight g4, I don't know. Maybe not so simple. Hold on. Maybe a3 now. Why move the king if I'm already in that kind of stage? Anyway, tough position. I think my opponent did not play badly there in the opening, but just spent too much time. You can't spend that much time and hope to survive. And of course, the final position is 1 for black. I have to say this is not a good position that I landed myself in. Although somewhere around here I was winning. I think the key came around here. This is where I could not calculate. But maybe some amazing move like here and h5 just to open everything up. I don't know. Crazy stuff, right? Like this. Takes, knight f8, whatever. Complicated enough to make my opponent's flag go down 3 times in this game. Anyway, this is Grandmaster Max Dlugy. Take it to the Max Show. Hope you enjoyed it. Perfect score tonight. Of course, I didn't face any GMs, so that's actually reasonable for a change. But hope to see you next Monday rather, and see how I can do then. All right, guys, take care and have a wonderful week. All right, take care.